I've never done one of these videos, but I personally find them very entertaining to watch. So I figured, why not try something new and do a massive everything that I bought while living in Paris for the last 2 months luxury shopping haul. Also, if you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Eloise. If you're not, welcome back, babes. We're trying to switch up the content a little bit and give you guys something new. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. I'm gonna try to go in the order of most recent purchases to the latest purchase. So we're gonna start off with Cartier. For a little backstory, I bought my Juste un Clou bracelet 2 years ago for my birthday when I was in Paris. And before I left, I knew I wanted to add a piece of jewelry to my stack. One thing about me is I don't ever change my earrings. I always have the same necklaces on, and my rings and my bracelet literally never come off. So I was like, oh, what's something that I could add? Let me just go to the store. Obviously, it holds a slightly nostalgic kind of feeling for me. This was a huge purchase for me at the time, and it still is. So we'll always love and treasure and remember this. And funny enough, one of the girls that worked at Cartier when I bought this bracelet recognized me from TikTok. I still have the video on TikTok, but it just made the experience just so heartwarming and amazing. So when I went in, I tried on a couple of different pieces from watches to rings. As I've gotten older, I feel like I've started to really have a deeper appreciation for watches. In the beginning, I didn't really, but instead of getting a bracelet, I decided to add a watch to my collection. And one of the things I love about Cartier is that you can engrave the travel pouches and the boxes. So I got 111, which 1 is my angel number, but 2, it was the date that I bought the watch, national holiday in France, and also 11/11 is a time. So I feel like it kind of correlates to the watch. This is the watch that I got. It is a classic tank and stainless steel. The battery, they have 2 options. I think one is rechargeable with the sun and the other option is just a regular battery. In girl math, I also love the way that it looks with my tattoo, which was kind of fun. I have another watch, so this watch is very much a daytime, everyday watch, opposed to my other watch, which I think is a little bit more flashy, and I kind of just wear or for like fancier occasions. But this is her on, and I feel like she just, it's a subtle detail. It's a subtle ad, which is a subtle ad that just makes you feel very womanly, if that makes sense. Next up, we have Chanel. So basically when it came to this bag, I had gone to several Chanel stores on November 10th because that's when they released the brand new Chanel 25 collection as well as new colors. If you guys are on TikTok, Pinterest, or anything, I feel like every cool girl has one, and yes, I do get influenced myself when it comes to purchases that I see other people have. So I really just wanted to go into the store and try one on to see if it even was something that I liked, because again, I'd only seen them in pictures and not on myself. So I went into a store on the 10th, and all of the colors, none of them really spoke to me, and obviously if you're gonna make a purchase, you wanna love it. So the next day I went into a Chanel store to ask about something else, and one thing that I've learned, the answer is always no unless you ask. So I asked my sales associate, who actually I got very lucky with the best sales associates that day, but I asked her if they'd had any Chanel 25s come in black with gold hardware, because I feel like that's just such a classic combo. She took a while to look in the back, and I do believe that she had actually pulled this from someone else's bag that may have been reserved. And a part of the new Chanel collection was adding a Chanel 25 mini. So this is her. Very much from the side is giving classic Chanel 25, but obviously just size-wise on is a lot smaller. When you put it on, it looks like this, and obviously just does not take up the entire space. I tried on a medium and it fell way past my hip, which kind of felt just like an overkill and too massive of a bag for me. I name all of my bags, so this is Carolina, the Chanel 25, and I'm obsessed with her. Next up, we have a purchase that I would consider is the most insane, I think, in terms of artistic and just like art. I stopped by Bottega, which is my favorite brand for both ready to wear as well as bags. I love the entire collection. I think they're so unique. But I went in just to browse around and look, and in the window was this beautiful suede jacket. One of the things that I've seen from both vintage shopping as well as just being online is suede is very much in this season. So I stopped and tried on this jacket and knew that she had to come home with me. It is this dark green suede jacket. It's got the very classic Bottega woven detail right at the collar. This one isn't detachable because it's the suede material, but they have 3 other versions of the jacket in cotton, as well as something else where you can actually take off the collar. But I wore the jacket the day after I bought it, and everywhere I went, somebody complimented me on it. I will say, I normally am a 36 to a 38. I sized up and got a 40, but I honestly would have tried the 42 if they had it in stock, just to really get that like oversized bomber jacket kind of vibe. And especially when you wear like a sweater underneath it, just to give you a little bit more room. I need to get her treated to make sure that the suede stays very much intact, but this was an investment piece that I am gonna wear years down the line, and I think it's just a very timeless and cool piece to add to my collection. Next up we have Sezane. They have Sezane in the US, but obviously it's a French brand, so I feel like if you have the opportunity to go into a store while you're here, they're beautifully decorated. They actually have Sezane Kids, which is so stinking cute, but I popped in just to get some very like classic holiday sweaters, fall sweaters. I got this one in a navy blue. It's a thicker material, but I feel like you can't go wrong with just your like classic navy, black, gray, charcoal sweaters, as well as the sweater that I'm wearing now. I don't own many cardigans, and one thing that you'll find is that I really do gravitate towards green colors, as we saw with the Bottega suede jacket, but I thought this was a fun color. Green is almost a neutral, so it's gonna go with so many things, and again, I didn't have a piece like this in my wardrobe. They're also great quality for the price, and Sezane is known for their like cashmere sweater wall, so of all the things to get, definitely go get their sweaters. All on the same day, we also hit a couple of vintage stores in Paris, in the Marais. If you haven't seen my Marais guide, then you'll see the entire strip of all the stores that we went to, as well as some other recommendations that I have in case you happen to come to Paris or are planning a trip to Paris. So one of the pieces that I got was this Dolce & Gabbana collared shirt. One of my friends, Gigi, does this thing where she gets vintage tops, takes them to a tailor, and they cinch the back to really get like a fitted look. So that's what I'm gonna do when I get home, is bring it to a tailor. But I love just the detail of the collared. Again, I love Dolce & Gabbana, and I feel like this is a cool piece that I don't have. You'd find this type of shirt a lot in a ton of vintage stores all around Paris, but I don't feel like it's something that really is in the US market yet, so I'm gonna bring it home. Along the same line, you already saw it in the Marais guide, but I got another collared shirt. This one was Christian Dior. It's got a very feminine collared cut, I would say. If you could feel the quality of this, it is just so buttery soft and thick. And again, I don't have a piece that's feminine like this and dainty, so I figured this could be cool to add to the collection. You can never go wrong with a collared shirt. It literally is just, it's timeless, gonna last forever, and super cute. This jacket didn't fit in one of the boxes, but I found this at my favorite vintage store, Système Solaire in Paris. They have 3 different locations, but when I walked in and I saw it, it traditionally isn't my style, but I think was just such a cool piece that I had to get. And I had so many ideas in my head of different ways to wear it. It also is reversible, so you can put the fur on the outside. So really, I love a good versatile 2-for-1 piece. I've only worn it one way so far, but I feel like in New York, a little Soho Tribeca moment, some flared jeans, some boots that I'm gonna show you. I see the potential in it, and I feel like it's also pushing me to go out of my comfort zone in terms of style. So I love her. Again, she's so soft, it's vintage. There's nothing better than a vintage find where someone's like, oh, where'd you get it? It's vintage. Last vintage find. This one actually isn't from Paris, but it's from London. It is a Burberry trench coat. We've obviously seen the rise of vintage in recent trends and fashion. Everything always comes around. But one of the things that I've really been seeing that's a timeless and classic vintage piece is a Burberry trench coat. I haven't felt any of the new ones, but I can only imagine that the quality of the new ones is not what the old ones were. So when I was in London, we stumbled upon, I think his name is the Cobbler of Vintage. I'm gonna drop it below and verify, but he basically, all he does is find vintage Burberry trenches. This man was like an encyclopedia for Burberry trenches. He told us so much about the history. He literally was like, I can look at a Burberry trench and tell you exactly what year it was made. So this one of the things is that it has the old Burberry logo. I can't remember his other telltale signs, but it's such a beautiful piece on. And I don't have this color trench at all. I pretty much only have black. I think it's just such a timeless piece that I'm gonna wear, maybe my future daughter is gonna wear, but definitely a very good add to my collection. The next one is another coat. So this is LouLou De Saison, previously known as Loulou Studios. I found them on Forward, but they're a French brand, and in my mind, it's giving the row in terms of design and silhouette, maybe a little bit Kate, but not at their prices and a little bit more affordable. So I went into the store, because I've only ever shopped online, just to see what they had, and fell in love with this coat. It actually is a collab with Loro Piana. It is not the price of a Loro Piana, but it's got that wool from Loro Piana, so you know that it's got that quality. The cut is very much just structured. I've been wearing it all the time. I wore it religiously in London where it was freezing, but I feel like you can't go wrong with just a structured black coat like this. I'll do a proper try-on of this so that you can really appreciate and see it once I stand up, but it's absolutely just stunning, stunning, stunning. All right, time to bring out the big boy, which I think a lot of you have been anticipating, but I went to Hermes. I actually posted a vlog the day that I bought all of this stuff, so I'm gonna link it up here if you haven't watched it already. Shortly before I went into the store, I had received my Birkin 35 Margot in the color Havon with palladium hardware. Well, one, they tell you a ton of different things about getting an appointment at Hermes and sort of how it works, but one of the things that I heard continuously was your spend history. So I went in to see what things I could potentially just spend on and get my spending up in anticipation of potentially getting an appointment. And I went in and got a Twilly. If you're unfamiliar with Twillies, you put them on the handle of your bag. So this is the color that I got. It's very neutral. We've got those greens, we've got blue, a little touch of brown, but very much just simple, which is what I wanted. Some of the Twillies have like very intricate designs, but I feel like it kind of loses it because it's going around a strap of a bag. So I bought a little Twilly, and then I also bought a pair of shoes. If you were looking for an Hermes shoe, I always start with the Oran sandals. I love mine. I wear them religiously over the summer, but I also have been really into the Chypre sandal. I have them in black, and they were sold out for a really long time because I feel like everyone just gets them over the summer. So I had gone in previously and they didn't have anything in my size. So this time when I went in, they had the Ep6 color, which is this, kind of like a gray almost. I got them for size a 38, which is my classic size. And I've worn them so much already, but they're just a great shoe to wear. Very comfortable. Honestly, elevates an outfit. So if you're looking for an introduction into Hermes shoes, I would definitely go Oran, but also check out the Chypre because they have a ton of beautiful colors. And I think they're just like a very easy shoe to just like slip on and run errands and do different things. So these are them. And then what most people are probably waiting for, because I have waited to debut her for a while, I had the most amazing sales associate. And I can say that your spend history and being consistent with going to the store and asking for appointment cancellations does work. I was offered a beautiful Kelly 28 in a taupe with palladium hardware, and if you can see, she's got white stitching along the outside, and I think that it really helps bring out the palladium and a taupe hardware combo. Her name is Marie-Claire, and I could not have asked for a better first non-vintage Hermes purchase. So this is her. I can finally talk about her. I know I've gotten so many DMs from you guys being like, where's your bag? Where's your, like, I want to see the unboxing. I wanted to wait so I could do a full video for you guys. This one was not a purchase, but it was a gift. Louise Carmen is sort of like, I always mix the name up, but the place where you go to get the signature scents as well as the monogrammed hairbrushes. They make journals. If you could smell the leather on this, it smells exactly like my suede jacket, like some of the bags. I was gifted this beautiful journal by the MiuMiu team. It has my initials on the very bottom, but I just think this is a great gift, and two, in 2026, I'm gonna try to journal and just do a little bit more self-reflection. So this journal came at the perfect time. And on the same wavelength of Miu Miu, I had the wonderful opportunity to work with Miu Miu Beauty during Fashion Week, and I'm pretty sure Miu Miu is the #1 designer brand in the world right now. And one of my favorite things that Miu Miu does is their ready to wear. I think they make these really simple designs just look very elevated and cool, girl. The coolest girls that I know wear Miu Miu. So I went in, and I'm not a huge fan of their bags personally, but their ready to wear I love. So I walked away with 2 sweaters. This one, which is brown and has the cute little plaid designs. It's very simple, but I think very much just me. And I've worn it in a ton of different ways, and I feel like it's a very versatile piece. But I also got this collared shirt, which actually has the detachable collar part. You can take them off right here. But 2 sweaters that I think are very just versatile and cute. Also, the collar has blue and brown, which I think really brings out the green. It's also something super cute is like the logo of Miu Miu. It's just cute and dainty. Like, it's not doing too much. It's just very simple and cute. We are almost done. 3 more things. So obviously in the very beginning, because I'm starting from the earliest to the oldest, I had gone to Hermes when I first got here, again on the premise of maybe potentially buying or being offered a Birkin or Kelly from Hermes. So I wanted to get my spend history up, because one of the things I learned is you can spend in the US, but it doesn't show on the European. Even if you shop in Europe, they can only see in the country that you purchase at. So obviously they didn't see my spend history from Greece and different places that I've just accumulated things. So I went in and I got a belt. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it or gift it to my mom, but I do think that the brown color, again, it's got the white stitching and it's palladium. Obviously I'm a big lover of palladium, but I think it's super cute. Again, versatile, works well with dark jeans as well as light jeans. So mom, this might be an early Christmas gift for you. The last 2 things, you guys have probably already seen me talk about them and wear them, but Maison Margiela. I bought my first pair of Tabis earlier this year when I was in Paris over the summer, and I fell in love with them. I was a Tabby hater, I'm not gonna lie, but after trying them on and wearing and walking so much, they really are some of the most comfortable shoes. I got a black pair because I have yellow and I wanted something that was just a little bit more versatile for the fall. These are them. They have the straps because the classic ones were unfortunately sold out, and I actually just picked these up from the cobbler to get them sold on the bottom just to increase the longevity of the shoe, because New York streets, like Paris streets, can very much be hard on shoes, and I want to keep them for as long as possible. So take this as your sign to go get a pair of Tabis, because seriously, I do think that they are so cute. And if you need inspo for outfits, go to Manana's page. If you know Manana, you know she is the Tabby queen, and honestly inspired me to get these ones. So, pair of Tabis. I think it's gonna become a tradition to get a pair of Tabis every time I'm in Paris. Dun da da da! We're at the last box. The last box is Yves Saint Laurent. I also, just like Bottega, very much identify with Yves Saint Laurent in general. I think they're very classic cuts and silhouettes. Again, if you see Hailey Bieber, she is the quintessential YSL girly. Back 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, when I went to Kyoto, Skylar Chase, who some of you may know or be familiar with, was wearing a pair of jeans, and I was like, oh my God, those look so good on you. Where are they from? And she said they were the YSL V-cut boot something something. So kept in the back of my mind, didn't really think much of it. And then I saw this other girl, I clicked on her picture and she had tagged YSL in her jeans. So when I went to YSL with my manager during Fashion Week, I was like, you know what? I've heard a lot about these jeans. Let me try them on and see what the hype is. So I did, and let me just say, every single time I wear them, and you can use my TikToks as proof and go through the comments, somebody asks me where my jeans are from. So they're from YSL. I don't have many jeans. One, let me just say that the flare-ish bootcut vibe is very much like sexy and adult and grown, and I love it. It also just accentuates my waist, makes my legs look thin, is a very flattering cut. I love the color, and they also offer free tailoring of the waist. Let me just give you one piece of advice. Tailor your jeans and thank me later. So absolutely highly recommend if you're looking for an investment piece for jeans. Then another piece that I'm absolutely obsessed with are these boots. Now, I'm gonna give you the 411. They're absolutely stunning. I love the front of them. I think that they are a very classic cut and that I'm gonna wear a lot. I had to completely get the heel and bottom of the boot replaced because they're soft leather, So basically, if you go and eat at a restaurant, the leather can get scuffed by another chair. They're very delicate shoes. Found out the hard way. Obviously, I had to get them completely redone. So I'm gonna be very careful with these in the future, which is kind of annoying for the price that you pay. But just keep that in the back of your mind because you are paying a pretty penny. And I do not think, again, for the quality that it should be being a designer brand that should have happened. But you live and you learn. Regardless, the style of the boot is stunning and you learn something every day. And then last but not least, another pair of YSL shoes. Notoriously, YSL does not have comfortable shoes, but these are the most comfortable. They are the YSL Mules. This is what they look like. I wear these for hours on end and have never had a blister, have never had any pain in them. I think they're so cute with a cute little French toe. They have a tiny little YSL detail right there that really, it's subtle, but is so cute. It also comes in a burgundy color. I'm not very much of like a deep wine burgundy kind of girl, but when you find a shoe that works for you and it comes in multiple colors, that's a piece of advice that I got. Get them in every color because you know how much you love them and how they work for you, so you can't really go wrong. Obviously, there's nothing behind me left, so that is my entire shopping haul while I've been in Paris. I have to say, I am very happy with every single one of my purchases besides the boots and just that little quality error. Everything else I'm obsessed with. I can't wait to wear. I can't believe I was able to purchase my first Hermès Kelly. That feels absolutely phenomenal and just such a huge like milestone moment. Very proud of that one. My Bottega suede jacket. Everything it has a story and I love them and I cannot wait to show you guys how I style them, incorporate them with the pieces that I have in New York. The year is almost done, so we are dwindling down on videos, but whatever you guys want to see in the new year, drop them in the comments below, shoot me a DM. I want to make this channel more fun and incorporate videos that you guys want to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little haul situation. I'll definitely be posting more day-to-day little bits on TikTok, so follow me on that. But I will see you guys next week. Happy holidays, and I love you guys.